loops are used for the iterations actually. So we have the loops in the MATLAB, which is the for loop and while loop, and we will see that how we can use these loop for the iteration purpose. So when you want to calculate the calculations, or when you want to execute some particular statements or instructions some specified number of times, then we can go for the for loops. You can go for the for loops. Okay. So as in other programming language, in the MATLAB we have the syntax for the for loop, and once you are going to use the for loop, then you have to use the syntax like this. So this is the for k is equal to 1, 1 is to 100. This is the column. So for k is equal to 1 to 100, k is the index, you can say, and this is the initial value and this is the last value. So your MATLAB is going to execute the particular body of this for loop, whatever you have written in the body. How many times? 100 times, because by default increment is 1. So at the first time k is equal to 1, then once you go next time k will be equal to 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 100. Once k becomes 100, and it goes to the loop, and once its value becomes more than 100, it will exit from the loop. So this is a very simple syntax, and by default the increment is by 1, positive 1. Okay. And if you want, then you can specify some other increment, like for I is equal to 1, 1 colon 2 colon 7. This means you are increment, instead of incrementing by 1, you are incrementing by 2. This is the step of the increment. So first value of I is equal to 2, I becomes 1, next time I becomes 3, and next time I will become 4. You are adding 2, sorry, it will become 5, then next time it will become 7. So first time you are entering I is 1, next time you are incrementing by 2, so it becomes 3, next time you are incrementing by 2 again, it becomes 5, and then 7, and once the value becomes more than 7, then you are exiting from the loop. So this is the increment by 2. And by default you can remember that by default increment is by 1. So this is okay. So you can see the general syntax for the increment. So here you have you are saying that k is equal to, so here this is the value for the k, you are saying that for k is equal to something. So here you have the m, s and n. This is, so k is equal to m, this is the general syntax, m, n and s. S is actually what? This is the increment. So the step s may be negative, so this can be negative also. S can be positive, means you, if it is positive then you are incrementing, adding, and if it is negative then you are down, you are going down. So if S is negative, then you have to take care about M and N. Depends on S. If S is positive, then accordingly you should have M and N. If S is negative, then you should have the M should be higher than the N. So if S can be negative, okay, S can be negative also. So like this is the example for the negative. So 10 colon minus 2 up to 4. So remember that when S is negative, the initial value must be large as compared with the last value, because you are going to down. So first time k becomes 10, next time k becomes 8, and then 6, and then 4. Once k becomes less than 4, then the loop will not be executed. So it will be executed how many times? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 times. So k can be negative also. Instead of positive, k can be negative also. So this is the general syntax you can remember. M as N. When as is not specified, you just say that M and N, then it means that increment is by 1. So by default, the increment is 1. So if S is positive, the loop will not execute it if M is greater than N. If S is positive, the loop will not be executed if M is greater than N. So say that if S is positive, then you must have M which is less than or equal to N. Okay. So if M becomes more than N and S is positive, then the loop will not be executed. You have to remember. So because you have the S is positive and this has the higher value as compared with this. If M is greater than N, then loop will not be executed. If S is positive. Okay. And if S is negative, then you can have the reverse. If S is negative, then loop will not be executed if M is less than N. So if M is less than N, the loop will not be executed. So if S is negative, if S is negative, okay, so what you need, M must be greater than N. If M is not greater than N, then if M is less than N, then loop will not be executed. And if M and equals N, if both values are same, M and N, then loop will executed only one time. Only one time it is going to enter. So if you say like for k is equal to 1 is to 1, 1 colon 1, this the loop will go only one time. Next time once you increment, it will becomes more than 1. So once the n value, this is the n, this is m, this is n. If n becomes more than m, then your loop is not going to execute because s is positive here. So by default increment is 1. So by default increment is 1. So m should be small here. If m and n both are same, then it will be executed only one time. So these are the rules you can very trivial. The step S. If the S is not integer, then round off errors can cause the loop to execute a different number of passes than the intended. This means what? If S is not integer, generally increment must be integer actually, because we know that if you have the integer, then you can specify that how many times loop can execute. If S is not integer, it may be the real values or decimal value. Then for getting integer, it is going to round off, and during the round off you may get some different number of times loop may be executed as intended. So generally every time in our experience we can say that s always be integers. We should not keep s as other than integer, because this is the way you can control the number of times you are going to execute. So in short, this is very simple. You have m, s and n. You have to take care. So here you have the for k is equal to msn. S can be positive or negative. You know that if s is positive, then m must be less than n. M must be less than or equal to n. If m is greater than n, then loop will not be executed. If s is negative, then m must be greater than n, or m can be equal to n. So if m and n are same, then loop will go only one time. If m is more than n, then you can go to the loops. And if m is less than n and s is negative, then it will not be executed. Now you can see the example. So this is the simple example. For you can type in the command prompt also. So in the first in the command prompt you can say for j is equal to 1 to 10. Then you can enter this statement. Then you can enter this, and then you can press end. So you will get the answer. So what is this? J will be equal to, it will go through up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. So starting from 1, it will go up to 1, 2, 3, like this, and it will go up to 10. At the end, If you can print the xj, then you will have the vector. You have the vector, and how many elements will be there in this vector? You will have the 10 elements. Okay. So what will be the output? This is what actually. So 5 into 1, 5, then 10, then 15. How many times it will go? Last value of j will be 10. So it will be 5 into 10, 50. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and up to 50. So you can say that x1 is equal to this, and this is what? X10. So you have x10 is equal to this. This is the vector. So if you know that by default increment is 1, and you know that okay 10 times you want to execute this. That's all. So this is the purpose of loop. Once you want to execute some statement or group of statement specified number of times, so you can use the for loop. So this is the same, and last value of x10 is equal to 50. So this is the answer. If you print this, then you are getting the answer. If you print x is now vector and holding the 10 values, and this is 5, 10, 15. This is just like the table of 5. And if you want to create the table of 27, then instead of 5 you can have the 27. And this is the way you can obtain the table of any number. So this is the table of 5 up to 10. 5, 10, 15, like this. This is the simple. So you can enter into the, either you can use the for loop in the script file, within the script file, or you can just if you just want to use some particular statement specified number of times in the command prompt. So you will find the command prompt like this, and just type the statement like this, then press enter. Once you press enter, the command prompt will not be there. You just type the statement, and once type the instruction, once press enter, then you have to press type end. So you remember that for must be end with end statement. So this is the end of for. So this end is corresponds to this for. So once you have written end and you press enter, then you will get the answer. So like if you have the if and end, you must have the for and matching end. You must have the end. For every for you have the end, and you can use for and. You can, this can be nested also. You can use the nested. Okay. So you can also nest the for. This is what. Okay. So this is just if you want to display it every state, then you don't put the semicolon here. In earlier cases, you have put the semicolon here. So when you put semicolon, then you are not getting the result. And if you don't put the semicolon here, then first time x is 5, next time x will become 5, 10, next time x will become 5, 10. The contents of the vector x after the third execution, and then fourth, fifth, like this. In the 10th execution, it will be displayed. So you know that if you don't put the semicolon, you are getting the result immediately. But if you put the semicolon, you will not get this kind of output. What is the result? What result will be output to the screen in each of the following examples? Okay. So what is the value of the execution? So there is no doubt actually क्या होगा, how is it is going to compute y is equal to 0, then you are adding 1. So the first time, what is the value of y? 0 at the beginning. Now here you are updating, so it is 1. Then in the next time 1 plus k means 2. Then next time y plus k again, so you are going to add 3 again. Then next time again y plus k, this is the y. so plus 4. Okay, then next time increment becomes 5, so y plus 5, this is y, and you have the 5, then you can get the answer. And this is just like the series. Okay, for I is 1 to n, first no, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to n. What is the formula for this? N plus 1 divided by 2. You have to go up to 5. So 5 multiplied by actually 6 divided by 2. This is the 15. That's all. So answer is 15 actually. And if you have, if you can go for some more number of times, say somebody says that I will go up to 15 times. If it is 15, 1 to 15, then again, what is the last value? You are going to compute 15 times 16 divided by 2. How much? So question is not this. You have to understand the philosophy of this. So every time y is updated. Okay. And what is the answer for this case? Here increment is by 2. In the previous cases, by default increment is by 1. Okay. Now what is the answer for this case? K is equal to 1 to 5. By default increment is 1. Yk. Now y becomes vector. How many values will be there? 5 values. And you are going to say that k is square. Here, since k is, every time you are getting the scalar value here, that's why you don't require dot operation. So dot is not required here. Simply k exponent 2. So first time 1 square means 1, 2 square 4, 3 square 9, 4 square 16, and then 5 square 25. So y becomes vector now. So you have the 5 values, and what are these? These are this. Now you have the nested for loop. So within the for loop you have other for loop. This is the, okay. So question is that how many times this statement will be executed? 9 times. Okay. And how many times this control part j, this will be executed? So see, when j is equal to 1, this is one first time, and it is going to enter into the loop. Then after completion of this, again you are going for this, and j becomes 2. Again you are entering to the loop. After completion of this part, again you are going to this, j becomes 3. Then you are entering into the loop. After completion of this, you are reaching to the end. Again you have to go for this, and j is incremented by 1, and j value becomes 4. But n is less than the 4, so loop will not be executed. So actually this will executed how many times? 4 times. This body is going to execute 3 times. And 3 times you are going to enter into the for loop. This stage. And every time you are entering to the for loop, how many times this is going to execute? 3 times. So 3 times you are entering, and so this statement executed 9 times. This is okay. But only question is for this control part, this control statement. This is the control statement. So this j, for j is equal to 1 to 3 will be executed 4 times, and the 4th time you come to know that okay, the j is 4, and it is more than this last value, and hence it is not going to enter the loop. And here k, every time you are entering to the loop, k is executed 4 times, because 1 to 3 times normal, then last for the checking whether k becomes more than 3 or not. So every time you are entering to this for loop, this control part is going to execute 4 times. I'm going to explain this thing because once you go for the analysis in your algorithm, if you have written the algorithm, then you have to go for the analysis, and you come to know that if in general, if this can go to n times, and this can also go n times, and you have the 2 for loops, then this statement will be executed n square times. So you will say that complexity of this part is order of n square. So you have to give the analysis in your research paper. So that's why this concept is also needed for you. Okay. Now the question is that for this case, what is the answer for the t? What is the answer for t? This is the array 3 by 3 array you are getting. This is j is equal to 1, and this is for j is equal to 2, and this is for j is equal to 3, and this is for k is equal to 1, and this is for k is equal to 2, and this is for k is equal to 3. Right? Consider this equation. Okay. And this is the equation, and y is equal to 2 raised to power 0.4 x plus 5, and plot this equation for the value of x from minus 10 to 10. Means first value is minus 10 and last is 10. So x will hold from minus 10 to 10. This is how you can do. You can you can use the colon operator. You know that for getting the number of points as earlier, but here we are doing this thing by using the for loop. Okay. So by using, otherwise minus 10 up to, you can have by default is 1 already, no problem. You can use this statement for the x. So you will get the points from minus 10 to 10. But how you can do the same thing with the help of the for loop? So we are going to use the for loop for this case. How can you compute the x using the for loop? This is the question. So this we can do. We want to plot this, and we have the x value from minus 10, and it will go to 10. So for every value of x, you need to compute the y. So this is the just one way you can do. So for I is equal to 1 to 21, because you have the 21 points, that's all. So first value of x, x1 denote the xi means first value of x. So this should be what? Because first value of x is 10, and the last value of x is plus 10. First value is minus 10 and last value is 10. So how you can ensure? You are ensuring by this. So xi first is 10 minus 10 plus I minus 1, because I is the index here, and I first time I becomes 1, 1 minus 1 0. So your x1 becomes 10 minus 10. Next time I becomes 2, so 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 means 1, and minus 10 plus 1 is 9. So next value of this is, first is minus 10, then next is the minus 9, next 8, like this, minus 8, like this. And when the last value of I is 21, then 21 minus 1, it becomes 20. 21 minus last value of I is 21. 21 minus 1, 20. 20 plus 20, and then minus 10. So it is actually equal to 10. So x21, last value of x is 10. So you are getting 10. And then for every time you are entering, so for xi, first value you have computed and corresponds to, you are going to compute for the y. So for yi also you are going to compute like this. Two exponent here, you should know that this is the scalar, and this is also the scalar you have. So you don't require any dot operator here. So 0.4 multiplied by xi, whatever be the value of xi, and then you are going to add the 5. So 2 raised to the power, from here to here, this is the exponent, 4 times xi. For plotting this equation, y is equal to 2 raised to power 0.4 x, you have to obtain the points of the x, and corresponding you have to obtain the y value. So once you have the x and y, then you can use the plot command. You can do differently also. If you, this is not the one way only to do this. Are you getting? This is not the only one way. Using for loop, you can also compute the same using some different manner. Now, you can, now here you have the array. Ours is the array. This is the array, and it is having the vector 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5. So this have the 5 elements. and this is total overtime. This is just like the variable name. This is just variable, and it is initialized to 0. Now see, for k is equal to 1 to length hours, incrementing from 1, and then you are computing the length of hours. What is the length of this hours? So length, this is the built-in function in the MATLAB, and it computes the size of the, it gives the output as the size of the longest dimension. So longest dimension is what? This is what? 1 by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 row and 5 columns. So what is the longest dimension? 5. So for k is equal to 1 to length of hours. So 1 to, actually you are saying that 1 to 5. This is helpful when you don't know what are the number of elements in the some unknown array, say A. I don't know how many elements are there. So if you don't know how many elements are there, then you can say just 1 is to length of A. So if you say length A, then you will find the number of elements. And starting from 1 to length A, you can do. So this becomes the index now. So if hours k, so k is 1 now. If k is greater than 0, sorry, k is hours k is greater than 40, then actually you are going to compute the, say for example, overtime, and assuming that if you are working more than 40 may be anything, 40 minutes or 40 hours, whatever you can assume. And this is assuming that hours here. So if you are working more than 40 hours, then it is counted as the overtime. So if hours k, so first time you are going to enter, what is the first value? 40. If first value is 40, then this condition becomes false. Okay. If this condition becomes false, you are at this point and you are not going to execute this, and this is the end. Again k will be incremented, k becomes 2, and what is the, for the hours 2 is 65, and this condition holds true. So overtime, earlier overtime was 0, so overtime was 0, and you are adding this. So hours k is equal to 2, and hours 2 minus 40 means 65 minus 40. So this becomes 65 minus 40. So how many? Assuming total overtime becomes how much? Minus 25. Now you are at this end, okay? Here, now k is incremented, k becomes 3, and 3 is this. So this is also hours 3 is more than 40. Yes, you are going to here, and hours k means 3. 3 minus 40. Hours k, hours 3 means 48. 48 minus 40. This is the 8. Okay. And earlier values is total overtime was 25. So you are giving 8. How much? 33 now. Up to here 33. Now you can reach up to here and go to the, and k becomes 4. 4 is what? 30. Hours k is greater than 40? No, you are not entering here, you are here. Again, k becomes 5. So this is the k, hours 5 is 20. Hours 5 is more than 40? No, you are not going to here. Again this, going k is becomes 6, but you can go up to 5. So it will be ended. So you are at the end. So once you print this value, and you once you type this in command prompt and press enter, then the answer will be 33. So always remember then length x returns the size of the longest dimension of x. So here the longest dimension is 5. Okay. Now you can see. Earlier what we did, here we say that k is equal to 1 is to length hours. Okay. Instead of doing this, you just write the name of the array. This is also permitted. So if you don't want to use this, and if you want to just get the value of this, then you just use the name of the array, means matrix. So once you go for k is equal to hours, then what is the first value of this? Hours becomes now this. Once you say hour, and this is the vector, and the first value of the vector is 40, second value is this, third value is this, fourth value is this, fifth value is this. So for k, first time you are going to enter, then you have the hours, and hours means this. The first time you enter, k will becomes 40. So here you can remember that you are not just counting the hours k, means hour 1, hours 1, hours 2. You just k will be k first time. Once you are entering the first time, k will becomes 40. Direct value, this value. And so you are doing the same thing actually. Greater than 40? No. So you are not going to enter. Then you are here, go to this. What is the next array elements? Matrix element 65. So now k will become 65. K will become 65. If k is here, this is just, it is not the, you are saying that k hours k is greater than 40. Here just k, because directly you are getting the value. So from the hours you are just directly getting the first time you are going to enter, k will become 40. Next time k will become 65, and third time k becomes 40, then fourth time 30, and last time 20. So only once in the second time once you enter, this is more than 40. So 25. Next time 8, 25 plus 8, 33. Again you are getting the same answer. So the difference is that instead of explicitly incrementing the index and you writing in the form of the matrix rules just like you are accessing, instead you can directly get the value. You can directly access the value of this. So how many times? Automatically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. Once the 5 times, once it enters the 5 times, because you have only the 5 element. If you have the 6 element, you will enter the 6 element. So this is the way. So remember that sometimes you can use this instead of saying that length of hours, and this is also simplest one as compared with earlier one, because in earlier you know that you have to take care of the index like the thing, and here you directly getting the value for the k. So instead of this you are saying that just k is equal to directly the element value of this first value, second value, third value, fourth and fifth. This is the value. Okay. Now see, you can also do like this. What we did, k is equal to hours. Instead of writing hours, you just write the value also in the matrix form. So this is more convenient explicitly to know that first time you go to the loop, first value is 40, second time 65, third time 48, fourth time this, and fifth time this. So again, once you compute this, the first time k greater than 40, no. Next time k becomes 65. Now 65 is greater than 40, yes. Then you are going to compute this, and you are getting 25 here overtime, total overtime. Then again go to the third times. The third value is 48. So once you are entering third time, it is the 48, and 48 is this, yes. So again 25 old one plus you are getting 8, and now total overtime will becomes 33. Next fourth time you are entering, k becomes 30, and 30 is not, this is not true. So it will be exit from this end, and again it will go for the last value of 20. Once it is the 20, then it is also not going to, this is not true, you are not going to execute this is the end. You go to this part, and since the element exhaust, you are at the this part, and now you are going to print, and the answer you will get is again 33. You are doing the same thing, but here if you have the long list, if vector is long, so writing the all points is difficult one. So instead of writing the all points difficult, you just name the vector, just like we have done earlier, hours, or you can use the length. Okay, if you have some small vectors, if you have not defined any array, you just want to work on some particular values, 50, 60, like the things, then you can just specify here and you can enter to the loop. Now see, what is the answer for this case? Mechanical person can explain how many times, what is the result of this code? What is the result of this code? You are not using anywhere k. Okay, you are not using anywhere, just it is controlling the number of times you are going to execute this statement. This is the body. So how many times you are going to execute this statement, you are controlling by this. So this is just purposes. K is 40, you are entering here, and what you are going to do, you are going to say that okay, display hello. Now end. Next time you are here, come to inside the loop and display hello again. Then third time display hello. Fourth time again you are in the body and say display hello. And last time you are in the body and say display hello. So how many times hello will be printed? 5 times. You want to print 5 times. Although you can do it differently, but for knowing that okay, notion that you are actually writing this kind of matrix means you are just controlling the number of times you are going to enter into the body, and how many times you are going to enter into the body, that it is equal to the number of columns. Here you can remember that how many times you are going to enter into the body, it depends on the number of columns. This is first column, this is second column, third column, and fourth column, and fifth column. So 5 times you have to enter into the body. This is the okay. So you have the every times you are going to enter, you are displaying the hello. Now you can see, if you display k, then first time you will have 40, then next time you will have 65, then 48, 30, and last time is 40. If you use this command, so first time 40. Okay, and for getting this, you can omit this semicolon, and then you will get automatically result 40, 65, 48, 30, and 20. So first time first column, next column, third time this column, fourth time this column, and fifth time this column. You have displayed. Now, okay, you can see some bigger array. Now, how many times this hello will be displayed? Now here you have how k is 2 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 by 5. K becomes 2 by 5. Okay, so k is actually 2 by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And how many rows? 1 and 2. 2 rows, 5 columns. How many times this hello will be displayed? So as I have explained earlier, you are just saying the column. First time, first column. Second time, second column. Third time, third column. Fourth time, fourth column. And this. So actually you are not using the k here. And this first, how many columns are there? 5 columns. So 5 times you are going to enter into the body. And once you enter to the body, then you are getting the hello, 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 hello. 5 times hello. So don't confuse that you will get 10 times hello. Just 5 times hello. And if you have like this, if k is equal to like this 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If this is this, if k is equal to this, then how many times hello will be displayed? Are you getting? Because how many columns? 3 columns. So this is the way. So you have to remember that how many times you are going to enter? Number of columns. You can see once you display k, then you will have the output. First time you are entering to the loop, and this is the first column value. Next time you have the 65 and 55. This is the next column. Then third column, fourth column, and this is the fifth column. Okay. Now if you wish, you can also perform some operation. So you can say s is equal to 0 and s is equal to s plus k. What is the answer for this? What will be the output? Can you compute? How you can compute? So first time this is 0, s is 0, and k is equal to what? The first column value. Okay. So s plus k. So s, this now this s becomes like this. First time. Are you getting? Next time once you enter, then second column is what? 65 and 55. So and you are doing s plus k, and s is this. So you are going to 8, 65 and 55. What is the answer? 55 plus 35 is 90. Now next time you are going 48, then 65. So s is now this, and 48 and 65. What is the answer? Can you compute? 53, say 30 and 75. How much? 80. Okay. 20
Yes, sir.
and then 85. 20 and 85. How much? 15. So this is the answer. So this is the final value.